Eric has his first rack. He's picked up a lot of hefty tiles. EIJPSUW.
Seems like a quick decision. I was about to say.
Jukes.
Just Jupes scores way more points than anything else. It's just the best play.
But we now see a rack of ACEEIKT. She could play Jacket.
Like
is the top recommended play on Quackle. And to me, that looks pretty good. It scores a lot of points, though. If you want to go more bingo prone, she might keep the T and play something like Pike instead. But I'm a fan of Jacket there.
Yeah, definitely worth the points here. And both players have used that J tile to score very well. Yeah, it's back to Eric. We'll see what he does with this. It's sort of an awkward rack. I can see one 6-letter word here in Godwit, but it's Godwit, but that doesn't play anywhere. But it looks like he's going to play pretty quickly.
Yeah, Bo here just seems to accomplish a lot of what he needs to do. He has a lot of clunky tiles together, so he gets rid of probably the two clunkiest of them and scores a good amount of points. So good objectives all the way around. Thumbs up over here.
Yeah, so it seems like a good play. I might have played the G instead of the B, but that's because I dislike the G. I think that's probably the right play.
Yeah, when you talk to a lot of higher ranked Scrabble players, they'll make those sort of comments like, I hate the G, or I know some people hate the Y. There are some specific tiles that, for whatever reason, have scarred us enough times we're like, not again. I'm just going to get rid of you and move on. So
we see some really interesting suggestions already in chat since I got the ball rolling last time with the play of Bathe. People are just talking about all the extensions for the word jacket: blue jacket, yellow jacket. I think there's straight jacket. a lot of really cool ideas here that neither player has, I don't think. But yeah, back to Cecilia, who doesn't have the greatest of letters. She would like for that T to be one space further to the right at least, so she could play Einstein or 90s. But she's going to have to settle for just, I think, KINE is a clear play here. It unduplicates the I, the N, and the E because she has all three of those tiles already on her rack. And it just looks like the best balancing play.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. EINS is a very valuable leave. And so we've mentioned before, all of these plays in Quackle are predetermined based on an algorithm of combining points and the quality of the leave. There were higher scoring plays you might have seen there, but EINS is so valuable that it was the second highest raw valuation by the software.
So Eric didn't get any help. He kept DGIT in his rack, but he does find a very good option to get rid of most of his tiles and score decently. If Turgid. Yeah,
Turgid. I thought it was Turgid. I guess I don't know for sure. But
probably depends where you live in the world. But that's definitely the right play. Again, like all these plays seem virtually just correct and optimal, as we say sometimes. And they're playing them really quickly. Both players have a lot of time left. They're just trading blows here. Let's see what Cecilia comes up with. She has the X, which is really useful to score over 30 points easily. I can already see the word XI and XI above the last play that Eric made for a really nice score.
Yeah, would you prefer playing XI there or playing AX making AG?
I would play XI for two reasons. We're talking about letters that are disliked. I don't like the I as much as I like the A, and the XI creates a spot to play XIS, possibly. And since it's Eric's turn. Since Eric already has the S, it's slightly better, I would say, and it also doesn't create that word on the spot on the triple letter of the A and the G. But I think the play he's about to make is probably better than either of those options.
Yeah, you're talking about playing. Yeah, you're talking about playing the W, and we are sorry. We meant to say Cecilia there. What you're seeing on screen is exactly right. That was Cecilia who just played Wax. And so with that, Eric is dumping all of his eyes, it looks like right now, on the board with Bimini. I actually did not know that word at all.
That's a really cool word.
Yeah, but
I don't know whose turn it is, but I definitely know
that was
that
just
word.
Eric's turn. So now Cecilia, we're going back to Cecilia. What you guys are seeing on screen is exactly right. Is holding the blank.
Don't rub it in.
Yeah, I'm throwing shade constantly on Josh. That's just how we roll here. And so, does Bimini take an S, Josh? I actually don't know this.
Yes, it does. Bimini is a type of awning for a yacht.
Very cool.
I just knew that. I didn't just look it up.
So she could maybe do something there. She could also play something like Inspire and Jackets, but that would leave a dangerous triple open. So we will see what she comes up with.
Maybe RESILIN, but the problem with that is it doubles it triples the blank letter, which scores 0 points. Inspire doesn't do that. Inspire scores 4 more points. I think it is. We're seeing right there. So it's really a question of whether you think it's worth the 4-point sacrifice to make it a bit harder for Eric to play on the bottom triple there. If you play Inspire, puts an E there, you can put almost like tons of consonants under the E, whereas with Resilin, you can only put an A, an E, an O, or a U. So I like that decision by Cecilia. And she played it relatively quickly, too.
Yeah, and these are the sorts of things that all of these top Scrabble players are thinking about. Is 4 points worth the sacrifice of what my opponent could do next turn? I often like to think in sort of a 3 turnout sequence. How many points does this turn score if I make this play? How many points can my opponent score by me making this play? And how good are the letters I'm keeping? How can my scoring increase or decrease next turn? So I'm kind of looking 3 turns out on any play, and these players, I'm guessing, are adopting a similar, if not even more turns out sort of thought process.
Absolutely. Scrabble is a math game, a word game, a psychological game, but it's also an art game. And the art of controlling the board's geometry is something that would be amazing for anybody to master.
Yeah, and it looks like Eric, even though he's down, again, remember, he's down 2-0 here, so he needs to win this game. It looks like Cecilia was going to play where I was going to suggest he could have played Waxy, but Cecilia's going to make an awesome play here of Vague, it looks like. So he won't be able to play Waxy in the same way, possibly. But yeah, he picked up the blank too, so he might be able to respond back to Cecilia's blank bingo.
Yeah. And it's definitely an extremely strong play if you play Vague. You could also put the L there for value, but as mentioned previously, the G isn't a good tile except when it's with an N. So there's something to be said about playing value there, keeping the NG combination. But I like this decision. I think it's definitely the strongest play here. All right, it's happening really fast here. He's he's trying Vagues, I see.
Yeah. He's
doing that thing.
Doing his Eric thing, yeah. I feel like we need some sort of hashtag for like trying phonies or something.
No, we need a warning label. It's like
a warning label, yeah. Well,
I'm gonna try this. Just carry on. So he can't play Vagues, but he can play elsewhere, can't he?
Well, restyle is an option, making vaguer. So that could definitely come down if Eric sees that. But he could also be thinking about here, he is down by 72 points. If there is a good enough scoring play with the Y, although I'm not seeing one right away, but it's sometimes worth it to hold on to that blank with good tiles because you're at least maybe 75% chance of hitting the bingo the next turn anyways. If you can score in the immediate turn for 30, 40 points and then bingo the next turn, that's often a better sequence than bingoing now and then not hitting that good point total. So we'll see if he opts for bingo or tries to just score a bunch. It looks like he's designated the blank as an R off of Vagar, so we'll see if it's tersely or restyle here coming down.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to play restyle, and it's going to tie the game up. So we've got another awesome game on our hands.
So why do you think he's going to play restyle? What gives you that spidey sense?
Just the same spidey sense that gave you the idea that he might bingo 75% of the time if he doesn't bingo this turn.
Fair enough.
Predictive. Lots of Scrabble is predictive. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think the chances are? There's a lot of estimations going on at the highest levels. And
I guess what do you think is going through Eric's head when he's considering tersely versus restyle? What are the pros and cons there?
Well, points is one thing. Restyle scores 2 more points. And what does it do to the spots that are open on the board? If he plays tersely, not only can Cecilia play from the top right triple word score, she could also just play down from the middle right triple word score. Just gives her more options that score a ton of points. Here, she can score pretty well through the T in restyle and pretty well down from the last E in restyle if she hooks that with a 2-letter word and goes down. But I think the spots that restyle creates are slightly less of a threat than the spots that tersely creates.
Those are all really sound reasons, and that's why Josh is an expert and has come in third at Canadian Nationals, as he's already mentioned. He's thinking about all these sorts of things just like these players are doing. And it looks like Cecilia is going to take one of those 2 triples open. How is probably the top play here. At least I like that a lot. It kind of scores well, and it's a tie game right now, so kind of if you can just score and maintain the game, that's a really good strategy if you can't bingo. One other thing to notice here is we're basically only using this bottom diagonal half of the board. The top diagonal half has barely been used, and if Eric makes a play off of the E and restyle, we're going to pretty soon have to turn to that top half of the board. So we'll see how that area develops as Eric is also putting down some letters.
Yeah, he's just playing.
He's trying. He's trying another phony.
So the funny thing about that, I would say, is he might think that might be a word because there's a word tovarish, which means just friend. It's like some Russian word. I would know. I'm of Slavic descent, but tovar ish is a word. So he might think that that's an adjective that means like pertaining to a tovar. That's the only reason I could think of him trying that. But let's not forget the hooks, or not the hooks, the extensions to jackets. We were talking about that earlier, and since it's such a close game, that might really change the game. It's going to score any extension that hits that double word score above jackets. It's going to score up to around 50 points.
Yeah, so it could definitely be a cool extension play if that happens. And so he opts to go instead of the Slav route, like Josh mentioning. We're both Jews, I guess, so he goes with Torot, the plural of Torah. So good Jewish word there, and scores a good amount to keep him within a 20-point game. And we'll see if Cecilia can sort of keep on extending this lead, or what she kind of does this turn. She sees Hoot, which is a really nice find. Oh, wow, Josh read the exact definition. He said it word for word before.
I didn't lie. If you guys saw that pop up, the definition of Bimini cricket. Sorry.
So she's going to play Hoot, which looks like a really strong play there, and continues building her lead. Eric needs to figure out ways to open the board. Oh, is over jacket a word? I don't know. Okay. Yeah, overcoat is a word, but not over jacket.
Yeah, it's worth a try in this format where you can only play valid words. That's the format they're playing in. Anything is nothing is out of the question. I mean, I guess players know their 2s, they know their 3s. These players are extremely good, and they know all of those words, but there's almost nobody that knows all of the words. So especially not an 11 or 10 letter word.
Yes.
Over jacket is definitely could be added to the dictionary sometime soon. We could popularize it more, you and me.
We could. We can do the over jackets movement. One other place on the board to keep your eye on is the R in Resolin. Now that basically the bottom half, diagonal half of the board has been used up, that is the one bingo lane available right now. So if Eric is thinking about how he can get back in the game, he might try to start opening up the top part of the board and keep letters that are conducive to potentially. I have no idea what Eric is doing right now, but he's trying to see front hooks to Vav possibly.
He's checking if groved is a word.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So, but he might want to try to keep letters conducive to bingos with an R in the 7th or 8th slot. That would be an 8-letter word. And he opens up the top half of the board now. He leaves good enough letters. Probably something like the E is going to be a key letter there to possibly bingo in that hard to block spot.
I don't know if anybody noticed that. He put the R down because he just checked if groved was a word. He obviously knew that diva wasn't a word. And he put the R down 3 spots above the E in Vagar. And to me, he's considering playing roved in that spot, which would set up his G for groved on the triple lane, which would be a very interesting idea.
Yeah, and can we maybe see the unseen tile pool to him? Because I see Cecilia has a P for proved, potentially. What other hooks there could Eric be noticing? I forget, is drove a word? I know drover is valid.
Yeah, so I think it's droved, groved, and proved.
Got it.
So this isn't necessarily going to work out for Eric, but when you're behind, you're always looking to make this sort of gambit play and try and pull ahead somehow. So I really like that idea. It's a very eye-opening plan from Eric's end. But
yeah, and if you're Cecilia here, it's actually, if you play proved, you are actually leaving another R in 7th or 8th position open for bingo. So unless you play something like unpin
would definitely be,
which opens up even more bingos.
Or lupin. So, lupin is better than unpin.
Yeah, that's a nice
definitely
idea.
The play. That's definitely the play.
So, and the reason why we're saying, the reason why we're saying lupin is better than unpin is because unpin takes a lot of letters behind it, including the S, which is one of, if not the most common letter ending 7-letter words.
By far.
So, maybe, I forget if E is more common, but it's amongst the most common. So L only takes behind it an A, an O, and an I. And so Eric continues to open up here, or at least is considering it.
Yeah, this is...
Aft would give him daft.
This is really high-level stuff here. So Raft and daft. I mean, he just has to win this game, and he's just going all out. And the fact that he's seeing these things so quickly, it's just especially since we haven't been playing much Scrabble during the pandemic, only online. It's very amazing that these players are able to keep their incredible board vision.
Yeah, this is honestly, I think, like a masterclass performance by both sides these past few games in just board vision, board tactics, that sort of stuff. We saw Hag, for instance, in game 1 with Cecilia. We saw the focalized setup for Eric in game 2. And now we're seeing Eric just forcing Cecilia to close down one lane at a time while he continues to save some other stuff. So we'll see. It looks like he's opting back for aft and plays it now. Cecilia does have the R for raft, so she might be able to block it. But even if she plays something like Elmir, that will give him a nice lane as an option back.
Absolutely. So it's not over. I mean, we did see that Eric did draw another A, which is not what he's looking for, but there's still time. I do think Cecilia is definitely a favorite to win this game, and what an amazing performance it would be if she did. I'm not calling it yet, but yeah, she's been playing fantastic Scrabble, and she has a very nice rack here as well. I think she can just play Limner, Limner, and Raft, and that's a much better option than Elmir, as we were talking about. If the first letter of your word is a consonant rather than a vowel, it's much harder to hook that letter for your opponent to make a two-letter word.
So she sees the word, and yeah, so the L's, they aren't the C's and V's, those are going to be the best letters for these sorts of plays, just because they take no back hooks, or basically no two-letter words starting with a C or V. L, even though it's a low point tile, it's one of the best low point tiles to start words with, because it doesn't take an E at the end, which is the most common vowel for 7-letter words to end. So,
all right, so it's really coming down to it. Eric has a lot of time to think, though, and there's 3 letters left. And as we saw last game, he might look like he's out of it, but he just comes up with these incredible ways to try and sneak by a win. In this position, all he needs to do, it seems, is to play a bingo to win this game. It's just looking very difficult. He's going to either have to end in an A, making LA, or just get something very specific. And with the letters that he has, it's not looking amazing. However, as I was noting earlier, the Q is unseen to Eric, and that actually might be his ticket out of the game if he decides to try and block any Q spots that remain on the board. We're always, when we have the Q, we're always looking to play QI. As we know, there's no I left to play, and he might be thinking about. I mean, he's thinking about ace right now. That's a nice play to score, and he's actually playing it. I would have taken more time here, given that it's the championship round. But yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, so I think his logic there was he saw that the 2 Q spots available were off of the T in Torot for QAT, and off of the U in Jukes for Qua, making AA as well. So his basic idea was, I think, that she needs to hold an A for her to play the Q, and either way she does that, I can't block both. So I'm just going to make a play that scores a bunch, and if she has to be slowed down by playing off the Q this turn, I could hopefully score enough such that I can come back, because 29 points is a good dent in a 70-point lead. He could have been thinking, she'll need to unload the Q. She either will not be able to play it because she has an A, or she's guaranteed to play it, or not be able to play it because she doesn't have an A, or be guaranteed to play it because she has the A. And I just need to net 70 more points. I can't worry about blocking.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, he did score as best he could. She is going to be slowed down by the Q, but it's really looking closer and closer to a victory here, a 3-0 victory, dominating performance by Cecilia here. He did draw the Z. He will be able to score some points with it, but she just has too much, I think, at this point.
Yeah, this is a really tricky endgame. So I'm not sure if Cecilia needs to play the Q right away, given that she has the 2 Q spots.
Definitely. Yeah, that's definitely something to consider.
So if she could play off the other 5 letters keeping QA, that would be one potential what we call out in 2 sequence. You might hear this from experts or other players in Scrabble. In Scrabble, an out in 2 sequence means whoever, once the bag is emptied, if you can go out in 2 turns and your opponent can't bingo or go out with their remaining tiles in between, then you end the game and you have an extra move advantage. So often a key way to winning close games, end games, is finding an out in 2 sequence that nets enough points. Cecilia has enough of a cushion here probably where that doesn't matter, but she might be looking for those right now.
Oh yeah, and that's the first thing you're looking for. Well, the first thing you want to do in an end game where you know what your opponent has is is try to see what their plays are. And once you see what their plays are, you see how you can maybe interfere with those plays, or whether the plays you're seeing on your end are going to give them better plays. Now, if Cecilia were doing that, and I think she is, she laid down QUA there, and she saw that gave Eric a very nice score for Zeda,
Yeah.
Zeda, and Aqua, hooking the A onto Qua, and she quickly took it off the board and put QAT down, which scores 2 fewer points, but is much worse for Eric. Doesn't give him such a great play, and that is the best endgame play. Our little engine has solved the endgame for us and tells us that by 2 points over YO for 30 points. That's that plays with the M in Limner, MYYO and NO. By 2 points, QAT is the better play.
And we're seeing in the chat now some brooms being put out for the sweep. Yeah, if Cecilia does pull this off, which is looking pretty likely, if she hits caught, the engine agrees that it is a win. Cecilia will pull off a sweep in a really strong opening round. What else could she be thinking about here? Even
definitely not what was mentioned in the chat. Yellow jackets without a second L and without a W. But,
yes. Yeah, well, actually, could you pluralize it in 2 ways, right? Like, you know how compound words can have
yellows jackets.
Yes, yellows jackets. Could that be?
Definitely, that's definitely an option. And she has 4 minutes left. She's just doubly making sure that this is gonna lead to a win. And I think she's gonna go with it, and I think that's gonna be it. Eric doesn't look very excited as he looked when he had focalized last game.
Yeah, he does not look too pleased. Although I don't think she can go out this turn. Oh, is he trying? Oh, I was going to say gray jackets, but no, grad jackets. Track jackets. Okay. Yeah, gaze jackets. Is that going to come next or something? Graze jackets. We'll see. Hey, you got to take every shot, and
that's
gear jackets. Ooh, I love the creativity.
Gear jackets is a decent idea.
Yeah, in the comments, if you have any dad jackets, I know that wouldn't hit the double word score, but I feel like that would be a good kind of jacket size for a dad bod or something. So is he going to try dead jackets now or something? I don't know. So
let's just let him have his fun. We don't have to give him the benefit of pronouncing every extension he tries. This is what I get for talking about extensions extensively. Red jackets is not a word. It's
so in the meantime, sorry. I was just going to say, in the meantime, I just figured if Eric's going to continue trying this for a few more minutes, we should do our plugs to be responsible here. Remember, we're playing for 2 charities here, the NASPA Foundation for Youth Literacy and the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. Please donate if you can. Scopely, the company behind Scrabble GO, has generously donated a $10,000 prize pool for player donations to both these charities. So we really appreciate it, and they're great things to donate for if you have the space in your budget. Also, remember, QR code bottom of the screen, that will allow you to get Scrabble GO. If you like playing Scrabble and want to play on your phone, Scrabble GO is the app these days. It is great. You can play in this sort of classic mode you're seeing here, or if you kind of like a video game style thing, you can play in its default mode where you can get power-ups and stuff and get points. Not just Scrabble points, but like points to your chest that you can collect all these rewards for. So definitely a cool app to check out. And lastly, we are playing under the North American Scrabble Players Association. If you want to learn more about the competitive Scrabble scene, go to scrabble.zone/info. Once again, scrabble.zone/info. We can post some of these links in the chat if you did not catch that. But definitely feel free to ask us questions about it throughout these next 6 days, and we will be happy to point you in the right direction.
And as Eric's time is dwindling a little bit, I would like to mention, as was mentioned in the chat, huge thanks to Will Anderson for putting this stream together. He's doing an incredible job. Who else should we thank?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I can thank you, Morris, I guess.
Well, I will say you're welcome then. But yeah, Will Anderson is a champion himself. So actually, since this event is produced by Will Anderson, not only is this a tournament of champions playing, but is a tournament brought to you by a champion. He won the 2017 National Scrabble Championship, or excuse me, North American Scrabble Championship. So not just US, all of North America. Will was the champion in 2017. And he kind of figured out how to move 2 phone apps onto computers, onto a live stream, all of that technical stuff. Him and Christian K also will give a shout out for that. They both did awesome work in kind of getting the product that you're seeing today. Also, Josh Greenway, who is the head of social media for the North American Scrabble Players Association, has helped produce some great interstitial content. If you saw in between the last game and this game, we had some really cool tutorials and stuff and videos. Josh also helped a lot with that, so thank you to him. And also thank you to Judy Cole, who's one of the very key people at NASPA. She is on the executive committee at NASPA, so one of the top-ranked people there. She's helped us out so much with kind of organizing this tournament, reaching out to Scopely, the company behind Scrabble GO. She did such a big part in that too. All these people put in such great work, and we're really happy you guys were able to join us for this. And lastly, thank you to the players also. I mean, they're showing great games right now. They let you into their lives for a bit, and you got to hear a bit about their story behind Scrabble and get to see them play now. So thank you to Eric and Cecilia and the other 6 players you're going to see in the next few days.
And it's not over. There's more. I mean, it's probably over for tonight, but this is only the first of many quarterfinal matchups. I mean, many. There's 4. Let's just be real. And I really look forward to watching some more matches. Maybe commentating some more matches. We'll see how those things shape up. But I mean, we're thanking everybody, which is normally done at the end of a tournament. I realize now, but there's a lot more to come in the next few days.
Yeah, and once again, if you have any questions about getting into tournament Scrabble, obviously right now we aren't able to do in-person tournaments. That's a big reason why we hosted this event, to be able to try to bring interesting content during this kind of new time. Go to scrabble.zone/info to learn more. We're happy to also answer any questions in the chat throughout.
Roger Coleman says, finish him already. Yeah. Cecilia's taking it easy. I think she knows she's got this. And Eric is just...
she gets that 50-point lead. And so Eric now is just going to kind of accept defeat, it looks like, and make a play quickly. or try more phonies, because he's Eric.
If there's, I mean, I'm gonna miss. I obviously, it's funny he's doing this, but I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss. He's gonna get eliminated. I don't know if anybody else. And Will mentions behind the scenes, if he doesn't play rejackets after all this, he'll be very upset. And it doesn't look like he's gonna. Well, he's gonna try redug. Goodness gracious.
Yeah,
goodness gracious, Eric, just accept defeat. If this was Cecilia and Cecilia was about to lose, I don't think she would be doing any of this. But hey, to each their own. He has 20 minutes to play. He can use the time as he likes. So it looks like he might be doing what Will wants.
He sees green. Is he going to play rejackets?
Maybe, maybe not.
He's going to use every second of his clock here, I think. So we should also mention, I guess. So tomorrow we will be at the same place, same channel. Not the same pretty faces, though. We will have 2 new players. So we will see.
Oh, I thought you were
Jason.
talking about my face.
That's true. Josh also has a pretty face, and we will actually have Matt Canick, another expert commentator, with me tomorrow night. We might see Josh later in the week. We're going to want to try to give you guys a lot of different types of good players and hear their side of how they analyze a game this week. We think it's really valuable to be able to hear how different good players think about the game and try to do that in an accessible, digestible way for y'all. So we'll see Matt Canick with me on stream tomorrow, streaming Jason Keller and Lori Cohen. Oh, wait, no, excuse me, Lisa Odom. Sorry, I'm mixing up different matches. We have so many good players. So Jason Keller, he's been a champ on Jeopardy. He's been a great crossword player and also a great Scrabble player too. So it'll be really fun to see him. Lisa has been one of the top female players for the past 20 plus years in Scrabble and really knows sort of this tournament scene from even the 80s. So it'll be really cool to see her play and see Jason play too.
Absolutely.
So,
and really, congratulations to Cecilia for the sweep. Let's get some more brooms in chat. Incredible. I did not expect a 3-0. I mean, these are both really, really strong players, and I thought they would trade a little bit more than this. But hey, that's Scrabble. Sometimes you lose 3 in a row. Sometimes you win 3 in a row. I think Cecilia played incredibly well. Eric as well. He had a couple of chances, I think, in other games, but yeah, it looks really great here for Cecilia. She's going to get a nice momentum for her next matchup.
Yeah,
so congratulations to both.
Yeah, so Cecilia advances to the next round.